the world has one honest option: to turn political promise into real action, to green our ports, drive blue-green industrialization, create high-value and dignified jobs, and secure a living and resilient ocean. We did not come to Mombasa to add our names to a longer list of promises. We came to turn the tide. Let the measure of this conference not be what we pledged on the shore, but what we deliver in the waters. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, once again, I extend my most sincere gratitude to all of you for your invaluable contribution throughout this conference, and for fellow citizens from the Republic of Kenya. Niwashukuru sana. Nimshukuru waziri wetu Ali Hassan Joho kwa ile kazi amefanya na timu yake kutoka wizara Betsy, PS wake na PSS wale wengine, pamoja na wale wote walioshiriki pamoja katika kuendesha conference hii ambayo tumesikia ushuhuda kutoka hawa wageni kwamba ni conference ya kimataifa ambayo imetengenezwa katika mji wetu wa Mombasa. Nataka niseme pongezi. The cost of protecting the ocean cannot keep falling on those who did the least to harm it. And it is the reason why in the G7 meeting that I had the honor to attend yesterday and the day before, the discussion was about new partnerships, how we can do things differently. And our position, as we consolidated that position during the Africa Forward Summit last month, was that going forward, the conversation and the engagement by those of us from the Global South and from Africa will no longer be on dependency. Rather, it's going to be on sovereign equality. That going forward, the course of aid and charity and assistance has run its course. Going forward, it has to be partnerships, and partnerships that are mutually beneficial. And we did also agree at the Africa Forward Summit, and it is the position that I presented to the G7, that going forward, we will reject any engagement that amounts to extraction. We will reject any extractive engagements. Going forward, it is going to be investments that create jobs, that create value, and that makes everybody a winner by creating a win-win outcome. That it is in the interest of all our partners that we create jobs in Africa, that we create value in Africa. In any case, going into the future market, the future workforce, because we not only have the natural resources, the agricultural resources, energy resources, and the human capital resources that makes Africa the center that will produce 40% of the world's workforce by 2050 and be the single largest market of 2.5 billion people by 2050. That will be the gravitational force that will drive global progress and global prosperity. And as a result, there is need to now eliminate all the barriers that stand in the way to accessing new ways of financing this continent and the resources that we have, not for purposes of treating Africa being treated special. It is in pursuit of being treated equal. Conference hii inayofanyika hapa Mombasa ni Ocean Conference ya kwanza kufanyika katika bara la Afrika. Haijafanyika kwa bahati, haijafanyika kwa makosa. Imefanyika kwa sababu tuko na mpango, na dunia nzima linaelewa tuko na mpango, na ndio sababu hiyo tuko na conference hii hapa Kenya. Na sio hii conference peke yake, niwakumbushe kidogo. 2023 tulikuwa na conference ya kwanza ya Africa Climate Summit iliyofanyika katika bara letu la Afrika. Niwakumbushe tena ya kwamba mwezi uliopita tulikuwa tena na conference ya kwanza ya Africa Forward ambayo imefanyika katika Anglophone country hapa Kenya, iliyohudhuriwa na marais karibu 33. Na jana na juzi Kenya pia ilikuwa inawakilisha bara letu la Afrika katika mkutano wa G7. Na leo hapa Mombasa tunakamilisha mkutano wa kwanza katika bara la Afrika la Ocean Conference. Haya mambo yote hayafanyiki kwa mzaha ama kwa bahati ama kwa makosa. Yanafanyika kwa mpango, na kwa sababu dunia nzima iko na heshima na ile kazi tunayofanya kama serikali na wananchi wa taifa letu la Kenya. Ndio nazidi kuwaambia ndugu zangu wa Kenya, tujiamini bwana, tuamini taifa letu. Tuache porojo na propaganda na fitina nyingi na matusi ambayo hayana maana. Tuwe na mpango bwana, tuwe na sera. Hivyo ndivyo tutakapopata heshima. Sijui kama tunaelewana. Ukiangalia katika vyombo vya habari huwezi hata kujua kwamba kuna conference kubwa ya kimataifa inaendelea Mombasa. Kule kwenye vyombo vya habari ni matusi, fitina na vitu mambo madogo madogo. Lakini ni sawa tu. Hivyo ndivyo mambo yalivyo hapa. Lakini kitakuja kueleweka. 3 years ago, we made a deliberate and conscious decision that the blue economy, our oceans and waters, were not contributing significantly to our gross domestic product and also to our progress as a nation. And I took the decision that I am going to have a dedicated blue economy and fisheries State Department. As a result, in the last 3 years, we have invested 20.3 billion Kenya shillings in our blue economy and fisheries ecosystem. And I remember in 2023, we changed the model when myself and this good man, Salim Vuria, we found some people trying to construct buildings, buy cars, set up headquarters. We decided that that money was not going to be used for brick and mortar. We decided that that money was going to be made available to communities. And as a result, 86,000 community members were given 3.3 billion Kenya shillings, and I saw some of them today in this conference explain to us what has happened to their livelihoods for the last 3 years, how their livelihoods have changed, how they have managed to do more with the money that we give them, and that they are looking forward to us enhancing what was made available to them. And finally, we have invested another 3 billion shillings to a maritime center that will be used for information gathering and research that is going to assist our fisheries and blue economy ecosystems. So it is because of this deliberate and intentional investment in our fisheries and blue economy ecosystem that today Kenya has been recognized as a blue and oceans country. And that is why we are hosting this conference for the first time in the African soil.
As we close this conference here in Mombasa, it is not a simple feeling that I have. It is more of accountability. We have transformed shared concerns into concrete commitments, building resilience for vulnerable coastal communities, advancing climate research and capacity building, mobilizing ocean climate finance, and strengthening maritime transport systems that bind Africa to global economy. There are promises made in this city, before this ocean, to the generations who will inherit both. This conference, Your Excellency, has shown us something important. The ocean is not one subsector. It is a living system where climate, security, fisheries, transport, infrastructure, pollution, and community leadership converge. To govern it well, we must hold all these together. That is the philosophy of our theme. That is the meaning of our shared heritage and our shared future. Your Excellency, as we hand the mantle to Canada for the 12th Hour Ocean Conference, we do so with confidence and with challenge. Confidence because this week has shown what is possible when the world gathers with purpose. Challenge because the ocean cannot wait for another decade of incremental progress. Our Kenyan forefathers reminded us, umoja ni nguvu, meaning unity is strength. Your Excellency, another Swahili coast has always, and the Swahili coast has always known that bahari haikosi mawimbi. The ocean never lacks waves. United we ride those waves, and we will ensure our oceans remain that they've always been, a source of life, a source of heritage, a source of prosperity for this world and the generations to come.
Mombasa has been blessed over the last couple of days. We've had about 6,000 delegates. And I'm not a very good mathematician. I might be a good politician, Your Excellency, but a mathematician, maybe not that much. But I was doing my calculations. There are 6,000 delegates, and excluding air tickets, but if you just look at their accommodation and everything else that they spend, and if we just ask them to, where I looked at it on an aggregate of about $1,000 for a period of about 4 days, that is someone who would have spent about $250 on a daily basis. Mombasa has just had a financial boost of $6 million over a period of 4 days. Now, I want to say this because of one reason. You have just come in from abroad. And while you are away, of course, there are those naysayers who say that you're traveling too much. Please travel more so that you can be able to make sure that more and more of such can be able to come within our counties because we are the ones who know the benefit of all that is currently going on. Your Excellency, yesterday you were not around, but I did mention our commitment in regards to waste management, the fact that we have started and we are embarking on a waste program for recycling, something that is all connected to do with ensuring that we have zero emission of plastics and waste in our oceans, hazardous waste programs to ensure that as much as we're a port city, we do not have an element of any hazardous waste in our oceans. Your Excellency, through your intervention, we've been able to work with the port authorities. I think I've seen the management of the port around, but we've been able to work with the port authorities. Today we're working on means and modalities of decongesting the port. Today we are working on means and modalities, and the county government has been able to be an integral part of the port, including having the county government of Mombasa earn its rightful share as we continue and strive for way more.
After the Sustainable Blue Economy Conference in Nairobi in 2018, and after Kenya's co-hosting of the second UN Ocean Conference in Lisbon in 2022, and now through the successful completion of the Our Ocean Conference in Mombasa, we can affirm to all that when the world directs ocean responsibilities Kenya's way, it's putting them into very safe hands. On behalf of all, I wish to acknowledge with deep gratitude the conference organizers, coming from many walks of the Kenyan government and also the World Resources Institute. Your reward lies in the fact that in spite of all the challenges thrown at you, thanks to your hard work, we've completed a world-class ocean conference here. Congratulations to you all. Achieving SDG 14, establishing that golden mean between conservation and sustainable use of the ocean's resources is not something that happens with a wave of Neptune's trident. Neither does it happen as a single breakthrough at one or two conferences. It is an incremental process, determined by forces of good science, of logic, of respect for international law, and multilateral consensus leading to legislation. It flourishes through adoption of good practice and by staying true to our word and giving goodwill towards all. That is not a pipe dream, for we have one planet and our species has amazing reserves of innovation, apportionment, and of empathy. And these are at our disposal, freely for us to use. Look ahead, for our progress has an adamant lodestar that is guiding us. And that is intergenerational justice. The light of that lodestar guides us. It leads us on, with Father Time being the one to tell the story of our dedication to incremental success in bringing humanity back into balance with nature and the ocean. And so let us set off purposely from Mombasa on the course we've set for ourselves, to Canada next year for OOC 12, to Korea for the 4th UN Ocean Conference in June 2028, and then to sunny Jamaica in 2029 for OOC 13. Along the way, we replenish our resolve and our resources at gatherings like the Biodiversity Convention's COP17 in Armenia this October, at the Global Coral Reef Summit in Saudi Arabia in November, and later that month at UNFCCC's COP31 in Turkey. We will fortify progress through advancement of ocean science at the UN Decade of Ocean Science in Rio de Janeiro next April, and we'll enter a new era of legal ocean governance when we assemble in New York in January for COP1 of the BBNJ High Seas Treaty. It's indeed a course set with bountiful opportunities for tangible collaboration and headway. But the tide waits for no one, so all aboard for the voyage ahead. May we stay true to our course, and along the way, may we have fair winds and following seas.
Your Excellency, President Honorable William Ruto, distinguished heads of delegation, Excellencies, representatives of governments, indeed friends of the ocean all. Allow me to thank the government and people of Kenya for their hospitality and indeed their ocean leadership. On behalf of the government and people of Jamaica, it is with profound gratitude, humility, and a deep sense of responsibility that I accept the honor of hosting the 2029 Our Ocean Conference in Montego Bay, Jamaica. This is more than the acceptance of an event. It is the acceptance of a responsibility to the world's oceans, to future generations, and to billions of people whose lives, livelihoods, food, security, culture, and prosperity depend on a healthy marine environment. For Jamaica, this moment carries special significance. Montego Bay is not simply a beautiful coastal city. It is a place etched into the history of global ocean governance. It is here that the negotiations culminating in the landmark UN Convention on the Law of the Sea found their enduring legacy, giving the world the legal framework that continues to govern the use and protection of our oceans today. We will convene a conference focused not merely on promises, but on implementation. Excellencies, the world does not need simply another conference, the world needs outcomes. In 2029, we look forward to welcoming the world to Montego Bay, where history helped shape the law of the sea, and where together we will help shape the future of the ocean. We also look forward to working with colleagues and friends in Canada next year in their hosting of the Our Oceans Conference. Again, on behalf of the government and people of Jamaica, I thank you for your confidence, your partnership, and your commitment to our shared ocean. We look forward to welcoming all of you, including His Excellency, in Montego Bay, Jamaica.